Hello everyone and welcome back to the Netherlands campaign. And where we left off, we kicked off our campaign, we'd done our starting decisions, we were having a discussion on what we might try and make. And just looking at our navy, at where we're rounded and where we're not so rounded, we could do with another two submarines. We could also build out our motor torpedo boats. We have 7 light cruisers, which is very interesting. And we have 3 coastal battleships, so we have what is a fairly effective little navy there. So there are a few places, as I say, where we can maybe build things out a little bit. But I'm currently just putting in our mixed support brigades into our existing army infrastructure. Okay, we've got low popularity, which I'm not a big fan of. We've been building up as well our officer ratio just for a little bit. And now we've built that up really nicely. I don't think we need to worry about that so much. So that was very strange. My headphones suddenly went funny. Hopefully that didn't come through on the recording. I'll need to check that. But, no, not diplomacy, sorry. That's it. I'm going to put a little bit into spies. Okay. We're going to do this. And yeah, we're going to bring that down to 27. And then we're going to get going on some tax. So I do want the industrial concern tax. All of these are worthwhile to get. As are anything in relation to the economy and refining, because, you know, we are doing that. We'll go for casting. And, oh yeah, we need to get the those ones as soon as possible. Some fortresses might not be the worst thing in the world either. It's interesting because this really isn't the worst tech setup I've ever seen for a country. We're actually starting with a relatively well-rounded tech situation. Okay, and I don't like the fact that we're now losing out a little bit because of... Yeah, that's going to get rid of that. So, yeah, I don't need to do that one, France, thank you. But the 19 from Japan. Japan is becoming our major energy supplier. And that's pretty funky. Okay, and yeah, let's give you one of them. Give you one of them. Over there, same thing. Now, I don't suppose... And yes, both of you are on your way back. And I'm raising up supplies because if we can get... Yeah, I don't need a national monument. As much as that would add a little bit, I'm actually more bothered about getting some more metal through the door. So if we have a quick look at some of our obvious trading partners, who do we have good relations with? The United States apparently think we're the bee's knees. So, you know what? We'll buy some metal out of you. If we wanted to buy 50 a day from you, that would only set us back 6. So, you know what? We're going to do that. And I don't want a national monument. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, US. That's very kind of you. And yeah, I don't need more money at the moment. I'm okay. Just bothered about getting up that supply situation a little bit. And we're up to 10 now, so... Okay, and how far away are the transports? Not far at all. And we can actually, yes, bring in some more... And you know what? We're going to put those into like that. And you're showing with a veteran HQ. I thought this functioned as a HQ. Unless I'm completely wrong. But I've always thought it does. Well, let's put a veteran HQ in there. And let's put a veteran... Yeah, let's put a HQ in here as well. Cool. So that's a nice little setup. In fact, part of me kind of wants to put them in here, but I'm not sure about that. Let's put you in like that, and then we can see where we're at. Okay. So if I wanted to upgrade you to an infantry unit, what's that going to cost me in IC? 4 a day. That's not much. Let's do it. It'll be done by October. Don't want the National Monument. Don't want it. I want a lot more money before I start considering that. Okay, a rogue politician. I can gain 5%, or I can lose a bit of unity and lose a bit of modifier. You know what? I wouldn't normally do that, but... Yeah, let's just do this. Just for a few days. And let's make it be 20.25 of a spy a day. And then we can do... Ah yes, garrison deployment capability. Yeah, always worthwhile getting. Money for fuel. Yeah, big fat wad of declines there. No way, Jose. Okay, yeah, and that 51 a day on metal is good. And, okay, an attack on Ambon, well, we're going to easily repulse that. A bad uprising. Yeah, and still no additional commanders. I imagine we'll get some more in June. An uprising in Zval. That's a little bit strange. Cool. And yeah, we can send our division over there. Okay, we're importing, yeah, energy and metal. Okay. And yeah, let's get engineer unit training just to buff the recon units that we talked about previously. And then we're going to want to put some anti-tank in our divisions as well, I reckon. That'll be what we'll probably end up building. And yeah, let's keep that supply level ticking on up. And how is our neutrality looking? If we look at ourselves... 94. That's not too bad. That's okay. Yeah, with a really strong officer ratio as well. Okay, we're looking for the magic 24. Aha! Yes, veterans. In you come. Okay. Let's attach them. Yeah, so they've got some pretty good experience on them from that combat. I kind of feel like they should be an infantry regiment as well, but I kind of want to do one of these first. Let's get another one up and running. Cool. So we've got another, gonna have another 2 infantry units busting out, which is something. How's our tech situation? It's going to be November or January. It's slow going on a lot of that tech. Right, 86 on the rare material front. Okay, another 3 into our supplies. Small arms is at 36. We're going to let that tick. And yeah, they're really wanting us to join them. Like we're definitely going, you know, we're definitely aligning in the direction of the Allies, but it's not as clear-cut as I thought it was going to be. I thought that the Germans would just kind of leave us alone, but no, they're definitely attempting to make us friendly with them. And I like seeing a wall of green. A wall of green makes me feel happy things. Read into that what you will. Okay, infantry support weapons. Yes, yes, yes. But I hope everyone's doing well. At the moment, I'm grappling with the fact that it looks like we might see another election between Biden and Trump, which I'm sorry to all of you Americans out there in the world that have got to make that voting choice. I mean, the one in the UK is pretty poor because, you know, it's between Sunak and Starmer, which is also a pretty shitty choice. But a choice between Biden and Trump is... I don't know. I don't even have words for how bad a choice that is. Like, I'm sorry to all of my YouTube supporters that probably like Trump. I imagine there's a few of them out there that do see something in him. Personally, I don't see it. I've ranted about Trump before, about not really getting the appeal. But in this case, if there's one thing I do understand the fact that Biden is a really bad choice. Like, if it's a choice, like, between Trump and Biden, I honestly don't know, like, I can't I don't think I could ever vote. Also, I've never noticed. Wait, next to Washington, D.C., there's a place called Warsaw. Like, the capital of Poland. Jesus. And Newport News? Like, Newport in Wales? See, that's rude. So there's a town here called Newport. It's right here. And then you got Cardiff, and then like Port Talbot is over here. It's where a big steel refinery is, and they model that in game. And then you get to Swansea. So this is all the area. Anyway, my point is though, like, yeah, I really feel sorry for anyone that is having to make that voting choice. Like, you know, that's a real shitty one. You know, because Biden. I mean, God, look, for those of you that don't know me, I'm generally fairly left-leaning. I think a lot of people that watch my channel know that by now, that if I ever rant about political matters, it's normally from a more left-leaning point of view. But, Jesus, Biden is, like, the worst. He's so bad. Like, you know, honestly, anyone else should run. Like, pack it in, man. It's okay to retire. You know, I don't know a lot about Biden. I know obviously he was the vice president under Obama and that he'd run for president previously, and obviously I think he's been a senator prior to that, and you know, he's a pretty well, you know, a long-standing member of the kind of political system. You know, and you know, but sometimes it reaches a point where you have to say, you know what, maybe it's time to pack it in and just, you know, do something else, and you know, this could be a time for that, you know, a time to just pack it in and do something else. Like, it really is a very bizarro situation, you know, to have an elderly man, like a really elderly, look, you can be an older man, okay, and still have complete control of your faculties. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with getting older. Like, it happens to all of us, and generally wisdom comes with age. But there does also come a point where if you can't speak, you know, that worries me a little bit. And he is concerning, you know. I don't want to pick on the guy for, you know, falling down a lot. You know, we all fall over from time to time. He falls down a lot. And then Trump. You can't tell me Trump is in control of his mental faculties. Like, yeah, the pair of them are useless. I've bashed on Biden a fair amount. Like, I don't really feel like bashing on Trump. I don't live in America, so therefore I can't comment. You know, I don't want to judge you guys, but also, what the hell? You really think voting for Trump is a good idea? Like, you know, I found it strange that people voted for Boris Johnson here. Like, that's weird. But at least with Boris Johnson, he's kind of so stupid that there's a redeeming factor there for the fact that he is laughable. Nothing about Trump is enjoyable or funny. He's just a walking mess. Sorry. I need to get this off my chest because I'm so fucked off with it. Like, I just don't understand. I would, you know what, I would appreciate someone explaining to me what the appeal is of Trump. Like, just, you know, it doesn't need to be a massive essay. Just tell me what about him you think is enjoyable. If you say something to me like he's not part of the establishment, I look at you and I'm confused. The guy is a billionaire. Like, you know, he doesn't care about you. He cares about himself. All of this rerunning, I think, is probably try to avoid some, you know, legal issues. Now, I'm not going to go in one way or the other on that, because I think that's a can of worms waiting to happen. But, you know, I just don't get it, you know, and I never will. In general, what has happened to kind of politicians and politics in general? Why is everyone so shit? Like, why does everyone suck so badly? Because it really does feel like that. It does feel like everyone sucks. Like, the only people that go into politics now are people that, you know, that don't suck. The problem is they all suck. And not not in a good way. They all suck in a bad way. Not in the way that you want to suck. You know, it's all sucky in a bad sucky. I don't know. As I say, I'm going to try and be positive. I'm sure that whatever happens, we can all continue to make the worst possible decisions. I think there needs... Turning to UK politics, I think there needs to be another referendum on proportional representation in this country. We need to switch first past the post out of the door, I think. And I'm terrified that we're going to elect a Labour government that is just going to be like the Tory party, but a lighter version of them. And that would be really disappointing. Like, there's no point voting for something different if the party that you're going to end up seeing come in is just exactly the same with no real differences. That would be absolutely awful. And I'm not here for it. I don't want it. Like, it annoys the hell out of me that we've got a choice here in this country, really. A bit like in America, under first past the post, where it's a choice between a very... I mean, our right-leaning Tory party now has gone even more to the right. It's really ridiculous. But a right-leaning party and then a centrist party. The Labour Party has drifted more and more centre under Keir Starmer. Now, Corbyn had his faults. You know, I think everyone can admit that the guy wasn't 100% perfect. But, you know, as a left-leaning candidate, at least he was trying to offer an alternative to what the Tory party was offering. You know, it annoys the hell out of me that, you know, we're just going to end up voting for just a Tory party that's lighter than the other part of the world. It's really strange. It's very odd. You know what? Because we're playing the Netherlands, let's have some Dutch politics as well. So I think the Dutch, have they had an election recently, or they've got an election coming up? Is it Geert Wilders? His right-leaning party did quite well or something in this election just gone, and I think, you know, now that's a folly of proportional representation. That's why people always say that PR doesn't work. Is it doesn't get you stable governments. It gets you coalitions all the time. Now, most of the rest of the world functions quite well under proportional representation, so I'm not quite sure that that's true, but yeah, in this case, I don't think the right-leaning guy over here is a particularly pleasant fellow from what I've been told, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just disillusioned with it all. I've always followed politics quite closely. Like, I've always found it quite interesting. But at the moment, I don't feel like there's a real, you know, if I was to vote in my area, who would I vote for? I'm not sure. There's a long and short of it. I don't know who I would vote for at the moment. I was, you know, probably a Labour voter, and I voted for the Labour Party, even in an area of my country where it doesn't really make a difference if you vote for the Labour Party, because it'll always return a Conservative MP. But, you know, I did always think it was important to vote, you know, and support that, but at the moment, it's very disconcerting when it feels like you have no, you know, there's no party that works well or functions well for you. Okay, we just got a little bit of extra leadership. So my rant, the game heard me and said, you deserve something positive. Here you go. Well, let's try and get that one going, and then, yep, small caliber tank cannon, let's get that one going, because we want to go into the anti-tank technology a fair amount. As I say, I don't want to rant, I just find it confusing. It's strange to me. Anyway, let's have a little look at our navy. So, I kind of want to split all of these units out. And let's rearrange these a little bit, because some of them have got better strength than others. Okay. Funny thing is, that actually works. And that's the pride of our fleet there, that coastal battleship. We've got some torpedo boats and some other ships and things. And we want to kind of do something like that. Ideally, we want to try and set our submarines and things into groups of equal strength. And I am very sorry for my lack of uploads as well. I've been very busy, and unfortunately, sometimes life and things have to take precedence over everything else. So I can only apologise for that. But I will do my best to try and keep the content coming for you guys. And kind of want to split off you. And then I kind of want to give a nice equal split of torpedo boats. C1. Yeah, that feels good. And then we can build one more transport ship. And then have a nice organized setup there. And then we've got our destroyers in a flotilla. And I'm okay with that. I'm fine to have my destroyers in one single flotilla. And I would say that's not worth it. And then when's our... Yeah. We're not far off now. Okay. Let's get a couple of the air techs up and running. And, oh, industry advance. Sure. Okay, basic education advancement. And then there's our monumental architecture. And I like twin engine planes for the part of the world that we're going to be fighting in, because we're not going to be able to build up any decent carriers, I don't think. Right, civil defense. Yeah, and I still don't want a national monument. Thank you very much. Okay, assassination attempt in the Netherlands? Jeez. Let's just do the tendency to drift. And lose a little bit of money. There's worse things to lose. Okay, and we've got another 4 set up here. Let's go and upgrade you to an infantry regiment as well. So we're now doing kind of a full production queue, which is pretty good. We're not quite able to do it, but that's going to change literally tomorrow because, yeah, next infantry unit came out. And then... what do we feel like? We could get ourselves some anti-tank. It only takes 86 days to do that. And yeah, let's get another one. Let's just build that up. Okay, good. We are just waiting for the event thing that will pop up to say, new monumental building. Okay, so what's that going to cost us? So it'll cost us 2,000 money. The rest of them will cost metal as well, but 25,000 supplies and 2,000 money. Let's do it. Let's get it. Let's build a Reno. Okay, and yeah, agriculture just improved. You'd think as the Netherlands we'd have pretty good agriculture. Pretty sure that they're known for having relatively good fertile farming land in the Netherlands. But and what we're going to want to do is, yeah, just bring down that descent a little bit each day. Okay, small arms at 38. Okay, we've managed to catch up and bring that under control, which is good. 36, a couple of 36 level techs there. I want us to have a relatively effective air force, to be honest with you, if we can. Port capabilities at 37. It's funny, I said that as we ticked up. Okay. And yeah, we will get airport level 1. Let's just get that going. A little bit of air organization, nothing wrong with that. Okay, and then just drop back into the ability to do a load extra tech. Okay, a couple of 38 levels there. Let's get retractable undercarriage. Yeah, there's a couple of different things we can look at. We could, if we wanted, let's just drop a little bit into here just to get rid of that descent. It's not going to put us behind. And ooh, oil refining, not bad. And the supply ones are always worth getting. We will improve our torpedoes. And I'm just debating whether or not we want to try it yet. Submarine damage control. Let's get ourselves some decent submarines. A little bit more in money, nothing wrong with that. And steel armor casting. Heavy armor forging, we'll let that one go. We can take that off. Let's get steel armor casting. Let's keep that building on up. Okay. We can continue to reduce our neutrality. Now, I imagine, yeah, there's nothing there at the moment, and we don't need to do the introduction help one. That's all fine. Alright, Britain just annexed Egypt. And a little bit more into supplies. And then let's take those away, because that lets us get onto here. And we're got 61 spies, which is enough at the moment for me to kind of say, you know what, we've probably got enough. And, you know, 2 for that is not bad. We'll build that up. And, yeah, I'm happy to trade Switzerland. And, yeah, I do want engineers in my mixed support brigades, thank you very much. And the Bank for International Settlements, let's do another industry one. That'll give us more money. Okay, and our infantry is all upgrading. And that's 5 officers a day. So 8 anti-tank would fill out the anti-tank roster. Okay, not bad. And I'm actually happy to do that, because that's a decent chunk of change. And I do want to improve our subs. I want to build some fun-looking submarines. Let's continue the investigation. We don't want foreign parties impacting our political events. And yeah, that was a decent bump to our money there, Japan, for the couple of days that lasted. Thank you very much. Really? You're gonna try that? Bless them. They gave it a go. Some pissed off workers. Right, and we're now at very low popularity, so that's not great. We've got an equal split. In fact, authoritarianism is on the rise, which is not what I want to hear. We did get a new commander. Just the one, but hey, it's better than no new commanders. Any new naval commanders? No. Ah, well. Okay. So there's 25 production left over at the moment, and we're building up 8 of you. Now, what else could we put in here? Is the real question. We could build a couple of submarines. It would cost 8 though. That's a fair amount of IC. Is it that bad? Hard to say, isn't it, if it's that bad? very difficult to pick something that you think is worthwhile putting in when you are limited on your options. Like, part of me thinks engineers, but they take a while. Then again, anti-air. Yeah, anti-air is pretty cheap. Cheap and quick. We'll take it. And aha, res. And all those little energy trades, you know, they're not that important on their own, but they all add up. Okay, and then we've got an attack on Serang. And ideally I want to be over 10,000 in every single type of resource. Or at least over 9,000. Okay. The only thing that I have fallen down in a bit of a rabbit hole is the people that paint, like, maps with the predictions of like, elections. There's, like, loads of those channels at the moment popping up on my feed, and I'm like, why are there so many weird election mapping channels everywhere? Like, is this popular? I'm surprised if it is. And I'm worried by the amount of units that the Germans have put on our border, to be honest. I'd rather they didn't do that. Okay, yeah, you can go in there. And you can go in there, thank you. Okay, a bit of anti-tank. Never gonna hurt anyone. Well, unless you're driving a tank, then it probably would hurt you, thinking about it. Okay, we've got another 4 in production left over. Kind of debating whether or not I want to build, like, out some core unit groups. So, like, you, with, like, an artillery and an anti-tank. Motorcycle recon, maybe. Anti-aircraft. A mixed. Like one of them. Just to go in the core group. Because ideally we want enough infantry to kind of handle everything. That could come our way. I mean, we'll never get that, because we're never going to get enough units to the point where we're going to manage to hold off the Germans. But I will take spirited defense over falling onto our knees and crying any day. So, yeah, like, Tilburg is not a good defensive, like, here, like, even with Breda, there's, like, a crossing. We might even be better to, like, try and hold something like this. Can you get to, so, Dordrecht. So Rotterdam, all 4 of those. So Rotterdam's a good defensive position. This is a good defensive position here as well. So is Appledorn. So you. You're all good defensive positions, as is Utrecht. So if we had to do a defensive line, what we would be thinking is we would be thinking defense. And we would be probably looking at something like, let's do, what color do we want? Red. Oh, red on red? Yeah, let's do it. So we'd be thinking something like this. So we'd be thinking that. So 4 provinces. That is to defend. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And we do at least have that ready. We don't have enough commanders to go around, but we have enough provinces. Enough units to do it. So that's something. I'm not sure how effective it would be, mind you. And yeah, won't give him a new position. We'll just move him away. Okay, and then we can build police centers now. Now, body armor actually might be good because we're going to be defensive. And yeah, semi-motorization of infantry as well is probably worthwhile. Okay, let's build up a little bit more. We'd love to get back over 10,000 in supply if we can. Don't get a lot of manpower though, that's the only thing. Have a look at our brigade stuff. Yeah, we're just the bog standard at the moment. Superior strength. Because I would like to do the infantry strength increase. Let's do it. Let's start working on it. Because, yeah, that would be really worthwhile there. Infantry guns. Okay, yeah, both of those. And then small caliber tank cannon, 30, yeah, that's good. We want to get high density alloys to get better anti-tank ammunition. And then yeah, industry at 32. Ah, we just jumped up a popularity tier, so that's something. And then I think our artillery, yep, our artillery did just improve. Okay. Okay, Okay, that's not a complete mess. We'll take it. Let's get another one of these. Well, yeah, that set of 5 units starts to build up. Machine gun focus, sure. And yeah, we'll do that energy trade. Thank you very much, Poland. Really? I don't want to do that for too long. Just want to... Let's take you down that way. And I think we're going to call it another episode there. So we have a little rebellion going on that started in Rotterdam and is in Haarlem at the moment, but didn't move to Den Haag. But yeah, that's a bit of a pain. But yeah, we're coming up with an idea on what we want to do to try and to kind of survive the upcoming onslaught. We're going to build up a fair amount of infantry, and we're going to try and give them as many good units as we can. Now we're filling out these divisions, and they're looking a little bit stronger than they did previously. We're still lacking a fair amount in commanders, mind you, which is a bit of a shame. But we've organised our army relatively well, and it's just going to be a case of how do we... Well, I mean, when it comes to surviving the German onslaught, I am not at all confident. But we will see what we can do. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thanks again. Bye-bye.